The chosen one, have you been feeling it? That rising pressure? The silent countdown you can't see but somehow hear in your soul? This is not random. Your spirit isn't confused, it's being warned. Because something will shift by August 3rd, and after that, nothing will be able to go back to the way it was. That's not a metaphor. That's a divine timeline, a spiritual point of no return. Before we enter this divine revelation, pause and take these 3 sacred steps. First, tap the like button to declare you're ready to rise with what heaven is about to release. Second, comment the number 333, the number of divine alignment and irreversible change under God's watch. Third, subscribe to join the community of 144,000 chosen ones, and only the chosen stay to the end, because only they know what it means to be prepared when time runs out. There are moments when heaven doesn't whisper, it presses. It compresses the timeline. It sets an unseen alarm. August 3rd is not just a date on the calendar, it's a door. And right now, that door is swinging. Not open or closed, but in motion. And when it locks into place, you'll either be inside what God is doing or shut out of what you were meant to receive. Many are feeling the tension, but don't understand it. You've had trouble sleeping. Dreams are more vivid. Old memories are surfacing. Conversations from the past echo back with new meaning. This isn't psychological, it's prophetic. You are being spiritually recalibrated. The shift is already happening, slowly at first, but it will spike. And by the 3rd day of August, the spike will seal. No reversal, no rewinding. In the book of Revelation, Jesus speaks, what he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. That's what this is. A divine seal moment. And you, chosen one, are standing right on the edge. But edge walkers must decide. Are you going to leap with faith or hesitate and miss your moment? Heaven doesn't warn just to scare. It warns to position. If God is showing you this message, it means you still have time, but not much. The realignment coming is personal and prophetic. It will touch your relationships, your provision, your calling, your location, even your body. That uneasiness you feel, it's the tremor before the turning. God is not silent. He is speaking through the atmosphere, through time, through the unrest you feel inside. That restlessness is a holy alarm, one not meant to bring fear but focus. Not everyone will hear it. Not everyone will respond. But you were not called to be like everyone. You were marked to move when others freeze, to prepare while others scroll, to step forward while others second guess. By August 3rd, the window will seal, and it won't be the same after. Some doors will close for good, not out of punishment but protection. Some people will be removed, not because of hate but holiness. Some resources will shift, not to deprive you, but to redirect you. God is not trying to make you suffer. He's trying to make you ready. But only you can say yes to what readiness demands. Are you willing to stop entertaining distractions? Are you willing to guard your spirit for these next few days? Are you willing to treat your prayer time not as ritual, but as instruction? Because everything that you do in these final moments before the divine lock will echo into what you're allowed to carry into the next season. Don't be deceived. There is no neutral in the spirit. You are either aligning or drifting. You are either responding or resisting. And August 3rd is not waiting for you to feel ready. It's arriving on schedule, heaven's schedule. And it will not ask your permission to shift your destiny. This is not about fear. It's about precision. If you've been asking God, when will my life change? This is his answer. When you match his timing, when you stop delaying obedience, when you choose consecration over convenience, when you treat divine warnings as sacred assignments, not passing thoughts. You still have time, but not forever. Use the days you have left. Clean the space, silence the noise. Protect your peace. Speak the name of Jesus over your nights. Return to the instructions he gave you months ago that you left unfinished. Because after this shift, the atmosphere will not be the same. And those who are not prepared will know it. Stay alert, chosen one. Heaven is counting down. The chosen one. This is not just another season. This is the line. The invisible threshold between what was allowed to delay and what must now be fulfilled. You can feel it. In your bones, in your dreams, in the sudden urgency to act, to move, to release. What has lingered, hesitated, been postponed in your life is now standing face to face with divine acceleration. After August 3rd, nothing held back will stay hidden. Nothing stuck will be left untouched. The shift will no longer ask your permission. You were never created to live in pause. And yet many of the chosen have remained in waiting, not because God was slow, but because he was aligning, waiting, not out of delay, but protection. Because if you had stepped too early, you would have collapsed under the weight of what you're now ready to carry. But now the final pieces are moving, not slowly, swiftly. And with that comes a final shaking, a test of your center. Will you respond with spirit or react with flesh? Because only those grounded in obedience will pass through the threshold unscathed. You must stop believing that your obedience is optional. Heaven does not move on your preference. It moves on God's principle. If he says, move, you move. If he says, release, you release. If he says, stand alone, you stand. Even when it makes no sense, especially when it makes no sense. Because when the irreversible comes, logic will not save you. Alignment will. Elijah didn't wait for the rain to come to build the altar. He repaired it while the sky was dry. Noah didn't wait for the clouds to form to build the ark. He hammered every board under mockery. What you do before the shift is what protects you after it. The days before August 3rd are not neutral. They are loaded with weight, loaded with instructions, loaded with decisions that will echo long after the calendar turns. This is your final call to sacred attention. Heaven is releasing keys, but only to those who have prepared the door, not just physically, spiritually, in attitude, in submission, in letting go of things that comforted your flesh but numbed your spirit. Some of the discomfort you're experiencing is not warfare. It's pruning. It's God cutting off what cannot come with you. People, habits, patterns, expectations. You've outgrown some things, but you keep trying to fit back into them out of loyalty. That won't work this time. What is not from him will not last. What does not serve your next will not be sustained. The irreversible is both beautiful and brutal. It removes what you thought you needed and replaces it with what you were born to carry. But it cannot begin until you say yes, fully, not halfway, not on Sundays only, all in. Every room in your life, open to God's voice. Every future plan, surrendered. Every false comfort, burned. Because this is not about a moment. This is about momentum. What God begins on August 3rd will move fast. You cannot afford to stumble through indecision. You must be anchored now. You must be alert now. You must be pure in your motive, clean in your hands, and willing to obey when no one else understands. The fear that keeps whispering, "You're not ready," is lying. If you weren't ready, you wouldn't be hearing this. The fact that this message found you means you are being invited into the next level. But invitation doesn't equal entry. You still must accept. You still must prepare. You still must follow the cloud when it moves and leave what's familiar behind. You will not have to force this. You will only have to flow with it. You will not have to earn it. You only have to align. That's the glory of divine momentum. It doesn't need your performance, just your surrender. But surrender is not passive. It's the most active thing your soul will ever do. So clear the space. Watch your posture. Be slow to speak and quick to discern. Guard your eyes and your ears. Fast if you feel called. Repent if you've delayed. Recommit if you've gone quiet. The irreversible is not a punishment. It's a fulfillment. And only those ready to release what they love will receive what was promised. This isn't coming. It has already begun. Prepare. The chosen one, when God decides a shift is final, there is no going back. You are now walking on sacred ground, the hours that lead to divine sealing. What you choose in these final days is not just about this month. It will shape your next chapter, maybe even your next decade. This is how weighty the atmosphere has become. Not dramatic, not fearful, just holy. A line has been drawn, and you're standing on it. Heaven has been quiet on purpose. That silence you felt wasn't absence, it was preparation. Because the voice of God doesn't shout when he's watching. He whispers to those who pay attention, and he moves with power for those who obey in silence. If your life has felt like it's been suspended midair, now you know why. You've been held in place until the appointed moment, and it is approaching, faster than you think. The 3rd of August will not wait for your readiness. It is a fixed hour. The scroll is unfolding, and you, chosen one, are being measured for what you're about to carry. Heaven is not playing games with your calling. Neither should you. Have you noticed how certain people have drifted lately? How conversations have become more filtered? How even your desires are changing? This is not coincidence. It is a stripping, a divine distancing. Because where you're going, you cannot carry what once comforted you. God is not being cruel. He's being surgical. Many are called. Few are chosen. Fewer still say yes when the price is clarity. You are in that place now, where compromise will cost you more than you think, and alignment will cost you everything, but return eternity. What you're about to step into will require decisions that can't be made by logic alone. They must come from a soul that is anchored in the will of God. You are not called to survive this shift. You are called to lead through it, to be the one others look to when everything else starts to shake. But to lead, you must first surrender to God's way, God's pace, God's cleansing fire. He is not asking for your performance. He's asking for your presence. He doesn't need perfection. He wants obedience. You cannot afford to fake it now. God is exposing what's surface level and refining what's rooted. This is the moment where shallow wells run dry and only deep ones keep flowing. The time for appearance is over. The hour of essence is here. Will you go deeper? Every quiet prompting you felt over the past weeks was heaven training your senses. You're more prepared than you feel. The enemy's biggest lie is, you missed it. But here you are, being summoned one more time. That's mercy. That's evidence. You're still in the timeline of grace. But grace has a rhythm, and if you don't step with it, you fall behind. Do not fear the shift. Do not resist the letting go. Do not mourn the pruning. What feels like loss is actually making space. What seems uncertain is actually protection. What looks like chaos is actually choreography. Heaven has not lost control. It's tightening it. Let this be the moment you say, no more delays, no more spiritual passivity, no more talking about next season without preparing for it, no more excuses masked as timing. God is moving. You must match him. You don't have to figure everything out. You just have to move with faith. There is a remnant rising, not loud, not famous, but pure, prepared, dangerous to darkness. You are part of it, but only if you choose it. Heaven doesn't force, it invites, and this invitation will not remain open indefinitely. By the time August 3rd arrives, your spiritual footing must be firm, your vision must be clear, your decisions must be made. The window is narrowing, the veil is lifting, the shift is locking in. Stay steady, stay hidden, stay holy. What's ahead cannot be reversed, but for the ready, it doesn't need to be. The chosen one, you are not being forgotten, you are being filtered. This moment in time is not proof of your delay, but proof of your distinction. When God gets ready to release something irreversible, he first isolates what is irreplaceable. And that's you. You are being separated, not rejected, hidden, not abandoned, refined, not overlooked. You are being prepared for the kind of weight that can only rest on clean shoulders. This is why nothing feels stable. Why the ground beneath your feet has been shifting. Why familiar things feel distant and old rhythms no longer satisfy. It's because your spirit is stretching ahead of your circumstances. Your soul has already caught wind of the future, but your body is still standing in the present. That's the friction, that's the ache, and it's holy. God is not in a hurry, but he is in motion. And if you want to be part of what cannot be reversed, you must stop clinging to what cannot remain. Some of the tension you're feeling is God forcing your hand. Not because he's angry, but because he knows you wouldn't let go unless it started to hurt. The shift coming by August 3rd isn't just about open doors. It's about exposed hearts. God is not just moving you, he's measuring you. What is your capacity? What is your obedience level? What's still hiding in your motives? Because whatever is not confronted in this hour will be magnified in the next. And heaven will not pour new oil into old wounds. It's not enough to want change. You must be aligned for it. And alignment starts in silence, stillness, obedience when no one claps, obedience when no one understands, obedience when it costs you something you used to call safety. You've been called too intense, too serious, too spiritual. That's because the world can't decode someone who is tuned to heaven. Stop apologizing for your sensitivity. That's not weakness, it's discernment. And it will be the very thing that positions you correctly when the shift locks in. Look around. Patterns are collapsing. False alignments are crumbling. Even your inner world is being rewired. The things you used to tolerate now feel toxic. The environments you used to thrive in now drain you. That's not confusion. That's elevation. Heaven is raising your standard. It's not punishing you, it's inviting you into clarity, into calling, into spiritual stamina, because what's coming will require it. Not everyone will walk where you're going. Not everyone should. The mantle you carry will offend the shallow. The message in you will stretch the religious. That's why you've been hidden, not to delay your influence, but to preserve your purity. Do not run from this pressure. It's proof of transformation. The cocoon is tight before the wings unfold. The soil is dark before the seed breaks open. You are not stuck. You are breaking through. And by the 3rd day of August, what has been hidden will begin to emerge. But only if you've stayed in the process. Don't abort the process because it's quiet. Heaven does its best work in silence. Don't rush the exit because it's uncomfortable. Breakthrough is often disguised as tension. Don't let the enemy convince you that discomfort is a sign to retreat. It's the final stage before release. The irreversible shift is not just about what God is doing for you, it's about what He's doing in you. That's the real reward. Not just the promotion, not just the provision, but the purification. Because what's being born in you will outlast what's taken from you. So yield, cry if you must, but do not run. Press in, pray deep, fast if needed, rest when led. Trust even when blind. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are right on time for something that has no rewind button. The chosen one. You've been walking with questions that no one around you seems to understand. You've been feeling a pressure that can't be explained, a sense of urgency that doesn't match what your eyes can see. That's because you are not being prepared for what is. You are being prepared for what's about to be. And what's coming is not optional. It is written, sealed, and by August 3rd, it will begin to unfold without pause. What do you do when the Spirit knows something that your logic can't grasp? You obey, you prepare, you sanctify. Because heaven doesn't always give details, but it always gives instruction. And the instruction for now is this: stay clean, stay watchful, stay yielded. This is the season where obedience will matter more than understanding, where stillness will do more than strategy, where purity will protect you more than plans. Because what is irreversible cannot be negotiated. It must be received with a spirit that is fully submitted. You are not just waiting for a breakthrough. You are becoming the kind of person who can carry it. God is doing something in you so He can do something through you. And what comes after August 3rd will expose what was hidden, both in the world and in you. There's a weight to this hour, a reverence. It's not the time for noise or show. It's the time to return to the altar. To open your hands and say, God, whatever you must take, take. Whatever you must burn, burn. Whatever you must change, change. Because only the surrendered will recognize what's being released. Many people will miss this shift because they're looking for fireworks, but God is moving like a whisper. Subtle, clear, precise. He's rearranging things in secret so He can release them in power. The humble will hear it. The yielded will feel it. The pure will walk into it without force. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be positioned. You don't need to know the full map, but you do need to follow the cloud. You don't need to shout your readiness, but you do need to walk in quiet authority. Heaven responds to posture, not performance. God is revealing the faithful in this hour, not the flashy. He's putting the spotlight on those who stayed in the secret place, who fasted in silence, who gave when no one knew, who obeyed when it was painful. Those are the ones heaven is about to breathe on. And if your spirit is stirred right now, it's because you're one of them. This is your moment to step behind the veil, to separate from the crowd, to tune out the noise. The shift is not about doing more. It's about becoming more aligned, more holy, more yielded, more alert. Because what you carry into the next season cannot afford to be diluted by fear or distracted by drama. If God told you to rest, rest. If He told you to speak, speak. If He told you to walk away, walk. Don't delay. Don't overthink. Don't seek confirmation for what He already made clear. Obedience now will prevent heartbreak later. This is not a sprint. It's a sacred march. Every step matters. Every thought matters. Every conversation matters. Your atmosphere matters. Guard it like a gate. Protect it like a prophecy. Because what God is about to birth in you will not be reversed, and it will not be repeated. When the 3rd of August comes, don't be caught scrambling to adjust. Be found steady, rooted, focused, expectant, because this is not just another month ending. This is a holy clock striking a divine hour, and when that hour hits, only those who prepared in secret will be revealed in glory. The chosen one, there is a shift happening that has no drama, no announcement, and no turning back. It is quiet, but final. And those who are tuned into the Spirit can feel it like a pressure in the atmosphere, like a stillness before the wind turns. You are not imagining this. Your soul is responding to a countdown. Heaven has already started, and as August 3rd approaches, what was once flexible will become fixed. What could once be delayed will become destiny. This is not about fear. It's about discernment. The wise don't panic, they prepare. The faithful don't run, they remain. And you, chosen one, are being asked to remain planted, even while the ground shakes. Because what's being tested is not your gift, it's your foundation, and only those rooted in trust will thrive in what's coming. The Lord is sifting hearts right now. He's removing impurities not with fire and fury, but with silence and stillness. Can you obey him when there's no spotlight? Can you follow him when others are getting ahead without him? Can you trust that being hidden is part of being prepared? You've been trained in private for this public shift. You've been weaned off applause, stripped of familiar rhythms, distanced from shallow alliances. Not because God was cruel, but because he was kind enough to make sure your soul wouldn't crack when the increase came. August 3rd is not an end. It's a hinge. And once the door swings, there will be no pausing to catch your breath. That's why heaven is prompting you now to slow down, strip away, and set your spirit in order. God is dealing with distractions, not because they're evil, but because they're ineffective. He's asking for refinement, not punishment. The things he's removing from your life may not be sinful. They're just no longer sustainable for your next assignment. And that's what obedience looks like at this level, letting go not just of what's wrong, but of what no longer fits. You're stepping into an hour where discernment will be your currency. You will need to know what looks right but isn't, what sounds spiritual but isn't sent, what feels urgent but isn't aligned. Because not all open doors are divine, and not all loud voices carry truth. That's why God is making your inner ear sharper, your spiritual vision clearer, your heart more sensitive. This moment calls for a different kind of preparation. Not ambition, not anxiety, but consecration. Realigning every part of your life under his voice. Pulling your energy back from every scattered direction. Reclaiming the rhythm of heaven over your days. You cannot drift into what's about to come. You must enter it by decision. Do not be surprised if some things begin to fall away. If relationships go quiet, if routines are disrupted. That's not chaos. That's God clearing the path. Because he won't let you miss this. Not after all the pruning, not after all the tears, not after all the times you almost quit and didn't. You're not here to impress anyone. You're here to host what heaven is releasing. And that requires purity, integrity, stillness. You may not have titles or platforms or affirmation from the crowd, but you have his eye. And his favor is about to speak on your behalf in ways no man can deny. When the shift becomes visible, it will happen fast. And those who are faithful in the silence will carry weight in the storm. This is not a test you can study for. It's one you pass by surrender. So breathe. Return to stillness. Lay down the need to prove. Let heaven find you with oil in your lamp, not scrolling through the noise. Let the angels see you postured in faith, not frozen in fear, because the countdown is real, and you are not late. You are right on time. For what cannot be reversed, the chosen one, the atmosphere is changing, not in theory, but in truth. The frequency of heaven is narrowing its wave. Only the attuned will perceive it. Only the yielded will catch the signal. As the final moments before August 3rd draw near, the Spirit of God is not shouting. He is selecting, separating, sealing. This is not about who is qualified in the eyes of man, but who is available in the heart. You've been hearing the whisper to release what once defined you. That whisper is getting louder. Not with volume, but with weight. Because the closer we get to the divine threshold, the heavier every choice becomes. The unseen world is watching who still clings and who fully surrenders. What's ahead cannot be handled with halfway hands. God is watching how you move in silence, how you respond when no one claps, how you choose him when the results are still invisible. Because the most powerful shift you will ever step into will not be launched from a stage. It will be launched from surrender. August 3rd is not a threat. It is a divine demarcation, a line that separates the prepared from the passive, the alert from the distracted, the willing from the wavering. And when that day arrives, it will not wait for you to finish processing. It will require you to move with what you already know is true. There is a reason your sleep has been disrupted, a reason your mind has been restless. Your soul is in conversation with the future. It's already glimpsed what's coming. You've felt the echo of something irreversible. You've sensed that heaven is up to something bigger than your current view. You are not wrong. This is the hour where being led by the Spirit must outweigh being led by results, where you must walk forward without applause, stand still without clarity, obey without convenience. Because the seal of God does not rest on the loudest, it rests on the lowest, the surrendered, the empty-handed, the unshakable. You don't need to be strong for this. You need to be available. Strength will meet you as you step. Grace will cover you as you release. Peace will follow you when you choose trust over logic. Heaven has already written your portion into this shift. The question is not, will God move? The question is, will you move with him? Will you let go before it's forced? Will you obey before it makes sense? Will you believe before you see? Because once this door locks, what was will no longer be retrievable. The grace of delay is lifting. The season of divine appointment is here. And those who have positioned their hearts in reverence will walk into the irreversible with peace, not panic. Let this be your final preparation. Not frantic, not fearful, but focused. Protect your time. Purify your atmosphere. Press in when others relax. Pay attention when others scroll. Sing even when it feels quiet. Fast even when you feel strong. Because what's coming is holy. You are not here to witness a shift. You are here to become one. You are the vessel heaven has chosen. And by the 3rd of August, that vessel must be ready. This is the hour. Let nothing pull you from it.